Before I get into today's topic, I want to discuss yesterday briefly. I was doing really well with everything. Um, Actually feeling good, feeling nasty, but good at the same time, or oscillating between the two. And I was working on some stuff that was would have got scammed in Tulsa. I had the projectile vomited, as I said in one of my stories, and I come back to the hotel I was at, and they literally said, "Oh, it got on everything," and they threw every single thing out. And yeah, they're panicking because that's obviously they just I don't know what happened. It was extremely weird, but I can guarantee you, I wasn't. This was unless I was this was the Exorcist, and I had a demon in me. I didn't get all my stuff. It was spread way throughout the thing. My folders were on a chair, which had important stuff in them. My prescription was next to me. I know there was no. It's just they threw out everything except for one randomly. They took one prescription that the benzo and left a different non-narcotic prescription. That's all they gave me randomly. At least they gave me that. Um, I digress. So I was trying to figure out that um, just to complete. The hotel is starting to freak out because we're pushing on them and trying to put the value of the things that were straight up just stolen due to a severe medical issue. That required an ambulance to come in. Thank God with I really could barely stand. Thank God one of the guys went in there and took my phone, but I'm just like, do I need to find those ambulance people? And this was back when it happened to be like, to be like, no, this is not true. What you're saying, God. Okay, I digress again. The point is, I was doing stuff. I was in a good mood, and then something really wild happened. Something absolutely beyond ridiculous, completely unfair, and I was sometimes I can get quite, you could call it manic, but it's like when I was when these UTI problem wasn't getting fixed years ago, I would often just get so obsessive over the problem and etc. that I would just be manic like a lot, and like I was starting to get super manic with it because you would understand it was so shocking at first, and this is someone that is withdrawing, right? And yeah, so that's the update on that. But I mean, it's like I hadn't taken my benzo dose, and it's like once I take that, I'm like, oh, okay, I can handle this. But even before I did that, I calmed myself with nothing, and I'm at least proud of that. Like just I asked God for help because it felt so extreme, and I was able to calm down. Though it was like I went from like this is so crazy, like pacing around to like feel like half of my brain had murdered itself. Like I felt so exhausted, and but we're getting it figured out because it's absolutely unfair, and it's fine. But in a state of not withdrawal, except even without withdrawal, I mean, they admit, I mean, that would be very scary. I completely understand where you're coming from and why we're staying on top of this. never get involved with this state, man. There's just apparently mistakes like this happen all the time. All the time. But you're under there. You haven't, you know, haven't maybe, whatever. I'll stop talking about it. Now moving on to Winnie the Pooh, because here's the thing. Through the Looking Glass, I think, is a gilded classic. I think so, of American literature. I think it actually, I've seen it in some top 100 lists of, like, you know, supposed to be a children's story, but you know, it does work and it's very well as that, but it's also, I mean, it's terrifying to the it has incredible depth, and much has been said about that, and I'm a big fan of there's multiple books, right? I don't know, Through the Looking Glass and something else. But it's quite a long time ago, but I'm a fan of it, and I was a fan of the games. If you remember that, they made Alice. They really took out the darkness in Alice and made her a more fully fleshed character. There's this really old computer game, which is extremely frustrating to play. Like, the platforming was so wonky. Like, it got you literally pausing it and saving it before each jump. Sometimes it was so ridiculous, but it was very powerful, especially when it comes to PTSD. And then the second game was more polished. It's still the platforming sucks somehow, and it's a bit boring to play, but it was powerful. But I guess the most powerful moment in that series, God, I can't remember if it's the first or second, but she kills, like, the Lazarus, right? Which is, like, basically a dragon, if you want to go Jordan Peterson on it. But it's an extremely hard fight, and you know, it's not so often in video games where you would feel like, oh, this boss is so hard, and it has, like, sentimental value to how hard it is, right? And then it's like, once you beat him, and then, like, because here's the thing, it's like, you literally hear this, like, precious girl, like, you're protecting, has been through so much, like, just get, like, scream when she gets killed by this thing over and over and over when you're dying. It's, man, that hit. Like, video games can be great. Most of the time, the problem is they're just such time wasters. It's like, even if it does succeed greatly in art, it's like, why would I pay 50 hours and sit, like, I've always found games tedious since I was a kid. Like, 45 minutes, I just get bored, you know, to be frank. I'm, like, better at, like, going through this stuff now. But, so Alice in Wonderland type stuff, very powerful, but I would argue that Winnie the Pooh is up there as well. It's definitely not quite as dark, but when you look at it, you know, as an adult, through a psychoanalytic perspective, you know, like, there's the first way you can look at it is pretty basic analysis, like, oh, you know, the owl is the intellectual type, you know, Eeyore is, you know, a depressed person, like, you know what I'm saying, and that's fine. That's a decent analysis, but I would say the proper, in my opinion, or the better and more edifying way to look at it would be just we all have rabbits, Eeyores, tigers, etc., all within our mind to a certain extent, pulling us different ways, and it is very interesting. And then you have Christopher Robin, which you could you know, easily put Freud in there. To Christopher Robin makes it all the more complete when you consider it through like a human brain, but also much more complex. And I'm not even quite sure how I would analyze Christopher Robin. Nevertheless, one thing that's very interesting is Winnie the Pooh is the star, and in the book, it's like it's not the book is not saying these other things and be Winnie the Pooh, but it's saying this is the best part of your brain, and it's opinion. Like you could definitely argue against it, but what the book seems to be saying is the most profound part of living and psychologically is just with peace, accepting the simple things in life and enjoying them and not stressing and doing things just to do them to an extent, and just enjoying the process and enjoying the space before you open the gift more than the gift itself, but also enjoying the gift. So I think what the book is saying is you have to be Christopher Robin and balance all these parts of your brain properly. If you just go, each character has its significant flaws if you just are that. But if you combine them, and then you also, if you want to add another layer, it's like they grow, right? So it's like in certain cases, Rue, who's like the scared part of your brain, you could say, would be brave type of thing. And it's very interesting. Like, not only is it a very fun book to read, there's multiple books. I do remember, I think the last one, I think there's 3, gets very dark and existential, and it's like that's the thing, like, I mean, a lot of the dialogue in these books are borderline psychedelic. It's very interesting, and when it gets existential, it can be just as dark as Alex in one, through the looking glass, whatever. So, anyways, I really haven't consumed much art this week because I'm feeling so bad. I've been reading, I've been reading Henry James a bit, but nowhere close to what I would do once I'm feeling better. It's gonna keep going into next week, but I'm getting through, no problem. And I guess the last thing in this already long video would be so far phages are good, but I am scared that either since the urine sample, I mentioned this, but I'll just be more clear on it, more bacteria has come out, or that just breaking up the bacteria could cause more to come out. And I think the latter in particular could happen, and that's one of the reasons that, but I mean, I think it'll be okay. Like I said, this stuff is a bit, it's definitely cutting edge, so there's a lot of things that aren't known, but all I know is this stuff seems to be working like magic. It's absolutely baffling. I truly thought I was gone and there was nothing left once that the bladder installations failed. I mean, I tried everything beyond antibiotic for over a year that should clear it up, but this bladder installations, even preventative stuff wouldn't work, let alone curing anything until this phase, because it's like it's not uncommon for multiple biofilms to be there, and it's like I get the second urine test back, and it's like, oh, but the E. coli still is completely gone. These other bacteria that were not a biofilm that popped up, they're not there. They're gone. So I'm very hopeful, but still, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous um, about that, and I had another thing going over my neck, but is a test to stay strong. And I'm winning the test in my own far way. I'm not perfect, that's for sure. But it's like I was going manic, and it's like maybe I have like a full-on PTSD attack, and I was able to calm myself down. I mean, I can't think of a time that I've done that. So, growth. Not dying, growth. Gonna get through this. Alright, much love. And I hope that I'm really trying to get more articulate, and like I said, this is the worst time because I'm sick, and my brain is affected by benzo withdrawal and such and such. So I mean, I'm trying to learn to be articulate, and then these things make it even more difficult. But I hope that there was some connect with the analysis. I hope I didn't do it too stupidly. I hope that it got you thinking in at least some type of way. That's, like I said, I'm learning for everything and trying to get better. All right, peace.